Ariel Powers beef with Cheryl Reeve. It is Ariel Powers, the new player for the Indiana Fever, who they just signed, and her beef with Cheryl Reeve. And if you guys are wondering why this is relevant, the Indiana Fever tonight are in fact playing the Minnesota Lynx.
Okay, this is wild, but the WNBA somehow just got even messier. Indiana Fever's new recruit, Ariel Powers, has officially reignited her beef with Cheryl Reeve. And trust me, it's pure, unadulterated chaos. We're talking old grudges meeting fresh shots fired. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's straight up personal. So, who's actually going to win this explosive feud, Ariel or Cheryl? Let's dive deep and break it all down. Do you think Ariel Powers will finally prove Reeve wrong on the court? Or could this drama actually hurt the Fever more than it helps? Seriously, drop your thoughts in the comments below.
The Indiana Fever have signed Ariel Powers to a 7-day hardship contract. A very spicy but very capable player. So let's go over everything there is to know about Ariel Powers.
And get this, when the Indiana Fever officially signed Ariel Powers, every single fan probably had the exact same thought. Wait, didn't she and Cheryl Reeve absolutely despise each other? Oh yeah, this isn't just some friendly competition. We're talking full-blown, undeniable bad blood. Now the WNBA has handed us a fresh, juicy storyline. Powers is back on the court, rocking Indiana colors, while Cheryl Reeve is forced to coach directly against her. You know what that means? Cue the drama.
It just dawned on me, man, that Cheryl Reeve and Ariel Powers, man, was going at it when she was on that team. Now, she was signed to that team, I think, in 2022. She was actually their top scorer, now that I think about it. She was their top scorer. And all of a sudden, I don't know, they was just clashing a little bit. And then I remember Ariel Powers just coming out and just saying, hey, I want to go to a different team. I want to be on another team. She just blatantly told the world, I don't want to be here anymore, basically. And
here's the setup. The Fever, already completely battered with injuries and just plain chaos, went ahead and gave Ariel Powers a 7-day hardship contract. And honestly, they had no choice. Why? Because practically half their roster is in walking boots. Caitlin Clark is rehabbing a groin. Sophie Cunningham is out. Sydney Colson is down. Ari McDonald is hurt. And Odyssey Sims just tweaked something too. Seriously, their locker room looks more like an emergency room than a professional basketball squad. They needed warm bodies, desperately. So who did they call in a panic? You guessed it, Ariel Powers.
Had Cheryl Reeve actually coming out and saying some slick stuff about her. So it was crazy what was going on between the two. And it boiled over so bad that Cheryl Reeve actually took her out of the game and started making her play like 10 minutes, 12 minutes a game. Now, she did get injured in 2022, and then she had to come back in 2023 off of that injury. So it was kind of like probably like a Aaliyah Edwards moment a little bit with Kiki Arifin, where she kind of lost her starting position. So it was kind of like that too. You're taking your top scorer, by the way, your top scorer, and making her play less minutes. I don't know what was going on between the two, but man, they did not like each other.
Now, here's where it gets crazy, because Ariel Powers didn't just pop up out of nowhere. This woman has been a proven scorer in the league for years. In fact, she was once the top scorer for Cheryl Reeve's Minnesota Lynx. So what happened? She got benched. Reeve and Powers clashed so intensely that by the end, Ariel was playing maybe 10 or 12 minutes a game. It wasn't about talent, she absolutely had it, but Reeve just couldn't deal with her anymore. That's how toxic things got. We're not talking quiet disagreements. This was Reeve openly throwing shade, Powers clapping back, and the entire messy situation spilling right into the public. Ariel was literally saying, "Get me off this team. I don't want to be here." You rarely see players air that out under contract, but Powers made it crystal clear. And Reeve, well, she certainly wasn't sending a dinner invitation to Ariel.
Y'all, when I tell you she better not be sitting by me, this would be crazy. We're getting closer and closer to the door. Excuse me. Oh, this is my seat. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. No. Hey, how you doing?
But hold up. Here's one of the funniest, most revealing moments from that whole feud, and it happened off the court. Imagine this. Ariel Powers and Cheryl Reeve are literally on a flight, assigned seats next to each other, and what happened? Reeve straight up switched seats with her own wife, just so she wouldn't have to sit next to Powers. You cannot make this stuff up. Seriously. That's not just professional tension, that's, I can't even stand breathing the same recycled airplane air as you levels of pettiness. Now fast forward to today, and guess what? Ariel is with the Indiana Fever, the same Indiana Fever that Cheryl Reeve already has major beef with because of Caitlin Clark. Remember, Reeve was one of the key figures who left Clark off the Olympic roster, and Indiana fans definitely haven't forgotten or forgiven that. So now, we've got a double whammy, Caitlin Clark and Ariel Powers on one side, facing Cheryl Reeve and her powerhouse Lynx on the other. This whole situation is a total powder keg, especially since Cheryl Reeve has been salty all season about the MVP conversation. Indiana even showed up to a game wearing Kelsey Mitchell MVP shirts, which even surprised Kelsey herself. When asked if she knew about the shirts, Kelsey just said, no.
No, oh my goodness, I was taken back. It was fun, it was funny, I was very humbled, I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with, and to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know, because I have been here the longest. I have, everything that people talk about, I have been, and to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, I have value somewhere, and I feel like they make me feel like, I'm important to them and vice versa, and so that value means everything to me, and
That whole gesture was meant to be a show of support for Kelsey, but Reeve was not having it. She went full-on glasses on top of the head mode, lecturing the media that MVPs only come from the best team. And guess what? She made it clear her Lynx are the best team. She didn't just throw shade at Kelsey Mitchell, she took shots at Aja Wilson too, basically declaring, "My player, Nafisa Collier, is the MVP."
Jess Shepard became the 19th player in WNBA history to record a triple-double with less than at least 11 field goal attempts. We were just speaking last time out about role players and their strengths and how they're really a huge component to championship teams. Recently with Feud being out, there's been a lot of talk online and, as far as media and fans, as far as the MVP race. I was just kind of wondering from your perspective, game in and game out, what say you to those who try to discredit Feud's MVP race campaign because of having a talented roster and a franchise that cares about investment?
Yeah. It's pretty simple. We're not 23-4 through the first, whatever part of the season without Nafisa Collier. We don't have one of the greatest 50-game runs, standing from last year to this year, and then, historic beginning to the season. And I'd say that, because our roster is constructed in such a way to win a championship, which is understanding you got to have more than an MVP on your team to be successful. But we're not in the place that we're in. We have I don't know what our game lead is in first place. MVPs come from the best team, and this best team has about a 6-game lead on the rest of the league. Nafisa Collier is the reason why. It's pretty simple.
So, if you're keeping score, Reeve already thinks Indiana is delusional for hyping Mitchell. She's already at odds with Caitlin Clark. And now Indiana signs one of her former players, a player she literally couldn't stand sitting next to on a plane. The basketball gods, man, they've got a wicked sense of humor. But here's the kicker. Ariel Powers is absolutely not some scrub off the bench. When she's locked in, she can flat out hoop. Back in her Lynx days, she was dropping double-digit scoring nights, hitting huge threes, and bullying her way to the rim, averaging over 14 points per game. This isn't some charity signing. The Fever may have just stumbled into a legitimate wildcard weapon, and you better believe Powers is going to want revenge when she faces her old coach. So let's zoom in on why this beef even started in the first place. Insiders say it wasn't about talent. It was about pure attitude. Reeve is a control freak. She runs the Lynx with an iron fist, and if you don't fit her vision, you're out. Powers, though, she's a personality. She's outspoken, engages with fans online, and always says what's on her mind. That's just not Reeve's style. She wants players to fit into her system quietly, no boat rocking. And Powers? Let's just say she doesn't just rock the boat, she capsizes it and then tweets about it. So naturally, when those two collided, it was never going to be pretty. Reeve benched her, minutes plummeted, and their entire relationship basically burned to the ground. Now that history is resurfacing just in time for Indiana and Minnesota to meet again. Think about what's at stake here. For Powers, this is deeply personal. She has a golden chance to prove Reeve was dead wrong to sideline her. Every jumper, every three, every single bucket she scores will feel like a "how do you like me now" moment, aimed directly at Reeve. And for Reeve, oh, she's going to coach this game like it's the WNBA finals. She'll tell her Lynx players to smother Powers, frustrate her, and make her look absolutely terrible, because the last thing Reeve wants is to watch Ariel Powers succeed on another team, especially Indiana. And let's not forget, Indiana is desperate. With half their roster down, they don't have the luxury of easing Powers in. She's going to get minutes, whether she's fully adjusted or not. That means the ball will be in her hands, she'll be taking shots, and she'll be right in the spotlight. Perfect conditions for maximum drama. It's also wild when you consider the optics. The Fever already have the league buzzing because of Caitlin Clark. Everything she does gets magnified. And now they've added another lightning rod in Ariel Powers, who's stepping right back into the spotlight with a coach who can't stand her. This isn't just basketball, it's primetime soap opera TV with a scoreboard. And honestly, I have to laugh. The Fever, bless their hearts, probably thought they were just adding some depth. They probably didn't even consider the full-blown PR storm they were stepping into. But now, every time Indiana plays Minnesota, the cameras are going to cut to Reeve's face every time Powers scores. Every single time. And the internet is going to have an absolute field day with it. Look, I get it. Cheryl Reeve isn't completely wrong. Her Lynx have been dominant. Nafisa Collier is an MVP-level player. Jessica Shepard just dropped a triple-double. Kayla McBride is a sniper who barely moves the net when she hits threes. That team is absolutely stacked. But here's the thing. If you're that good, why are you so pressed about Indiana? Why are you so pressed about Ariel Powers? That's the funny part. Reeve is coaching a juggernaut, yet she still finds time to shade the Fever every chance she gets. That's pure obsession, plain and simple. And let's be honest, Powers knows exactly how to use this to her advantage. She's active online, she engages with fans. She'll take this beef and run with it. A viral TikTok here, a snarky tweet there, and suddenly she's the face of the Reeve Revenge Tour. Every fan who doesn't like Reeve, every Caitlin Clark supporter still mad about Team USA, they're all going to rally behind Powers, and that's the absolute last thing Reeve wants. Powers turning into a folk hero for Indiana fans. So here we are, Indiana desperate for wins, Powers desperate for revenge, Reeve desperate to prove she's still in control, and Caitlin Clark waiting in the wings to return. It's the perfect storm, and we're only halfway through the story. Now let's get into how this beef could literally explode once the Fever and Lynx actually hit the court. Think about it. Ariel Powers checks in, and the cameras immediately swing to Cheryl Reeve. And you know she's already rolling her eyes before Powers even takes her first shot. That's the kind of tension that doesn't just sit quietly in the background, it bubbles up and colors every single possession. For Powers, this isn't just a 7-day contract, it's a state. Every drive to the hoop, every jumper, every defensive hustle play is going to be viewed through the lens, can she finally get her revenge on Reeve? If she goes off for 28+ points, the storyline writes itself. Indiana's overlooked recruit just embarrassed her old coach. If she struggles, you can bet Reeve will smirk in the press conference, like, see, that's why she's gone. There's no middle ground here. And let's not pretend Reeve won't weaponize her roster. Minnesota is absolutely stacked with defensive depth. Kayla McBride, Courtney Williams, Bridget Carlton. They've got bodies to throw at Powers all night. You can almost hear Reeve telling her squad, don't let her get hot, don't give her that headline. And honestly, That's part of the drama. The Lynx don't just want to win. They want to make sure Powers looks utterly ordinary. But here's the thing. Powers thrives on this kind of chaos. She's never been the quiet system-fitting player. She's vocal, she's fiery, and she feeds off proving people wrong. That's why this matchup is so intriguing. She's not walking into this as a role player, just happy to have a jersey. She's walking in ready to prove a monumental point, ready to torch the team that benched her, and ready to show Indiana fans exactly why she belongs. The bigger question, though, is whether the Fever can even support her in this effort. With so many injuries, Indiana is basically piecing together lineups with duct tape. Caitlin Clark, still sidelined, would normally take defensive pressure off everyone else. Aaliyah Boston, when locked in, is a dominant inside presence. But let's be real, her inconsistency has been frustrating. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's doing her absolute best, but defenses know she's the primary engine. That leaves Powers in an awkward, but potentially golden spot. She'll get more touches, simply because the Fever don't have much else. It's almost poetic. The same coach who once limited her minutes might end up watching her take on a massive role because Indiana literally has no choice. And that's why fans are buzzing. Because this isn't just about two people not liking each other. It's about the basketball gods lining up the circumstances so perfectly that we have to pay attention. There's another layer to this too. Indiana Fever fans already hate Cheryl Reeve. They'll boo her every time the Lynx come to town. They'll roast her online, and they will never forget the Caitlin Clark Olympic snub. Add Ariel Powers into that mix, and suddenly Indiana has two explosive reasons to turn every Fever versus Lynx matchup into a full-blown grudge match. This isn't just a regular season game anymore. It's personal warfare with a scoreboard. Now, from Reeve's perspective, she probably sees this whole storyline as beneath her. She's coaching the best team in the league, with Collier putting up MVP numbers, with McBride hitting net-snapping threes, and with Jessica Shepard dishing out triple-doubles. On paper, she shouldn't even care what Indiana does. But here's the truth. She does care, because if she didn't, she wouldn't be shading Indiana's MVP talks. She wouldn't be dismissing Kelsey Mitchell, and she wouldn't be moving airplane seats to avoid Powers. The receipts are there, and Indiana, they're loving every second of it. They get to play the underdog role while fanning the flames of the feud. Every Ariel Powers bucket will be hyped like a championship moment, and every Fever fan will be screaming online about how Reeve underestimated her. It's fuel, and if there's one thing Indiana needs right now, it's fuel. But here's the twist. What if this beef actually motivates the Lynx even more? What if Reeve's players buy into the narrative and treat every matchup with Indiana as a personal mission to back their coach? Suddenly, you've got the Fever playing against not just a stacked team, but a team emotionally charged to shut down one of their former teammates. That's dangerous. This is why the upcoming games matter so much. It's not just about playoff positioning anymore. It's about pure pride. Can Ariel Powers rise above and show she still belongs at a high level, or will Cheryl Reeve get the last laugh, proving that she was right to move on? The answer won't just impact the box score, it'll ripple through fan bases, social media, and maybe even Indiana's future roster move. So here's the ultimate question. Will Ariel Powers use this chance to shut Cheryl Reeve up once and for all, or will Reeve's Lynx expose her again? Either way, this isn't just basketball. It's a full-blown soap opera with sneakers. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more WNBA drama breakdowns. The popcorn is ready.